Welcome to another week in Payday Paradise. As ever, you've got to roll with the punches and take the good with the bad. This time, the good is a banging teaser trailer for the loud gameplay of the final Year 1 DLC heist, Fear and Greed, showcasing a few of the new features and giving us some insight into the heist layout and potential objectives, as well as confirming its release date. The bad is the fact Payday 3 looks to be leaving the Xbox Game Pass service, meaning you will no longer be able to play the game for free via that subscription. Obviously, from a consumer standpoint, this is rough, and I'd always rather the game is accessible with a low barrier to entry. This decision could further hamstring Payday 3's already lackluster player base. More concerning still was the fact you were able to purchase DLC for the game without actually owning it, which means some fans may be left holding a Gold Pass upgrade with all the DLCs, but no game to actually make use of them. I'll be surprised if that converts sales and doesn't just royally piss people off. Of course, these players are likely to be in the minority, but I do think it's a shame to see the game disappear off Game Pass just one day before a major release if this goes ahead. It's destabilising for the community. However, taking a step back and trying to be as analytical as possible, I will say a few things. First, it's crazy to me that you can buy DLC for a game you don't own because of a subscription service. It's totally above board, but still doesn't sit right by me and is bound to run into these kinds of issues. Second, the game might return to Game Pass in the future, and that could even be before it disappears. Unless the Microsoft relationship has really soured over the past 12 months, I'd be shocked if it didn't at some point. The game was announced via a Microsoft showcase, it was in a Microsoft booth at Gamescom last year. Surely there's an opportunity to push the game to more players via that channel again in the future. And finally, this could be a smart, intentional business play for the long-term future of Payday 3. Hear me out. This game is going to live or die by its sales over the next few months. Plan and Starbreeze will be watching those figures closely. We know they intend to sell a Year 1 edition of the game in October and have moved to a more sustainable DLC model to keep funding active moving forward. These sales count, and I suppose raising the bar to entry might be a way to ensure more sales in the short term to prove minimum viability for right now. Sure, it could backfire tremendously and lead to even more unsustainable player figures, but if they do have confidence in their product as we near the end of Operation Meditbag, it does make sense to start to capitalise on those improvements with increased sales revenue, especially if Microsoft isn't offering a lucrative Game Pass renewal contract. I see people asking all the time if it's worth playing the game now, and my answer is always yes, give it a go, a lot has changed, much for the better. But when they ask me, should I buy it, I'll always say the jury's still out and wait and see how it looks after Year 1's over. So that's all there really is to say on this hot topic for me at the moment. We have to see what happens, not only with the contract negotiations, but also what the hell is going on with Payday 3 Game of the Year Edition. Shout out to the Lithuanian legends in the comments of my last video. Back onto the real reason I made this video though, the new DLC heist looks pretty damn nice. I love getting heist teasers long before they release. It gives us a lot more to get excited about and also shows confidence in what the devs have created. I say more of this please. It's easy marketing and the Payday 3 trailers have been excellent so far, but they get lost in the hype of launch and far fewer people see them than would if they came out prior to release. That said, it wouldn't be like me to just let a trailer like this play out and or at least try to rampantly speculate on the value of Scry Digital and Wixia though, would it? We actually get to see a lot more than I expected for a short teaser, including the awesome looking minigun overkill weapon, which might finally bring honour to the title, and an incredibly unexpected glance at the new shotgun, which looks to be the Pump Action Spaz 12. So far there has been an element of theming with these packs. We got some relatively high-tech weaponry first, the police arsenal with boys in blue, and then they decided to give us 3-round burst guns because it was the third DLC. With the Spaz 12 now confirmed, I officially have no idea what the DLC 4 weapon pack will be about, although I'm not sure how you tie a set of weapons into a DLC about robbing Wall Street. If you have any ideas, let me know down in the comments. Regardless, I think the Spaz will be a DLC seller of its own. I'm quite impressed by how rapidly the Payday 3 weapon designers have honed in on those iconic weapons that FPS communities just get kinda giddy over. The MP5, the FAMAS, and now the Spaz, all proper staples of this sort of game that I'm pleased to see added so early on. So far, the pump action category of shotgun is really lacking, needing a bit more one-shot potential on heavies to be worth rocking, but if this is anything like the M7 from the previous DLC pack, I'm excited to get my hands on it. And it already looks like it might be able to one-shot to the body up close, which would be an immediate step up from the Rheinfeld. As for the minigun, I almost glazed over it as it's fairly tough to see how much damage this thing is putting out from the brief clips where we can see the player wielding it, but judging by the bullet holes, at the very least it's looking solid for sending plenty of lead down range. I expect this to fill a bit of a gap between the two weapons we currently have in that unwieldy overkill slot, with the Red Fox acting as a single target dozer deleter, whilst the Piglet is, at least in theory, meant to excel at crowd control. The minigun will probably give you the best of both worlds with slightly greater emphasis on taking down groups, while slightly struggling up against shields. I'm excited for it. The system still needs a lot more to go beyond the novelty, but at least for a while I'll have a reason to get on the phone to Bile again and call him in. The final really notable thing to notice within this trailer is of course Houston himself, who is the free heister joining next update. I'm not sold on the purple suit, but I do quite like the mask. At the very least, I think it's a step up from Payday 2's Houston. Although, surely this rapid addition lends credence to the theory that those broken hands were a last-minute cop-out for some sort of external release delay. We've already seen his maskless look, which is also far closer to Derek Ray than whatever this was, but for me, the key to his implementation will always be the voice lines and Derek's voice work, so no idea if he'll be a character worth playing until we try him out. Looking at the wider heist, there's a lot to take in. We've known this one was going to take place in the New York Stock Exchange for quite some time now, but for some reason I anticipated a ground floor entrance and aesthetic closer to what we ended up with for Diamond District. As it is played out, we don't get to see the start of the heist, but it's clearly a fair bit higher up than I first imagined. The trading floor itself looks to be one expansive room, which leaves me wondering how the hell stealth is going to work on this one. Will we be able to wander around in casing mode as if we work here? It appears as if we've traded the old green filter for a vibrant blue one as well, which I'm not too keen on, although this will go from blue to red and in a filthy brown colour depending on whether the stocks are still trading, it seems. All the while, numbers are counting up on the screen, which gives off the impression we're going to be siphoning a little off the top as we take down Concord's shares. This really is a sensational concept for a Payday heist, which is the first so far for me to really nail down this higher stakes, more ambitious Payday gang who might finally start to break out of the shadow of their bygone achievements at the White House. The whole concept of just robbing Wall Street blind is so brazen, I love it, and it might finally give us a taste of the stakes we've been missing so far. Funnily enough though, I'm even more excited for this exterior portion of the heist than I am for the core hit itself. What looks to be an outdoor rooftop escape is so much better than what we've come to expect from a Payday 3 heist. It shows there's going to be progression throughout, as well as different, more open gunfight environments. It seems very evident we get to move this crate into position to form a bridge across to the rooftops to escape from, instead of Bile just pulling up like bullets don't bother him, or the dreaded find the rectangle style escape we've been relying upon so often in the past. This appears to be the first heist so far to actually get creative with its escape, giving us a totally new environment to fight in and hopefully not ending abruptly right as things start to get interesting. I'm very impressed by what I've seen so far in terms of the scope of this heist and think its theming is just so killer it could very much be that big bank statement heist that's much needed to carry us into year 2 of content. If nothing else, at least it sounds like Gustavo has produced on the big stage once again, if the sax at the end of this one is anything to go by. Fear and Greed is shaping up nicely in my opinion, and with the 16th of September release date, we have less than 2 weeks to wait to be able to play it, which is a fast turnaround from Houston Breakout under a fortnight ago. It could be the perfect end to year 1, and whilst there's still tons of uncertainty around the game, not least what's going on with Game Pass and a terribly stunted roadmap, we should at least get to enjoy the final heist in the Big Apple campaign. As for that DLC campaign itself, it's had some highs, but I really feel as though following the late Payday 2 model was a mistake. Payday 2 was at its most successful when its updates weren't shoehorned into little mini campaigns, and instead everything seemed to be released ad hoc. One minute we were getting teaser for a more grounded heister hailing from Japan with a genuinely compelling backstory, and the next we'd be off stealing coke-filled goats. This worked far better than these predictable seasonal campaigns because people outside of our small Payday spheres actually talked about it, for better and for worse. So my advice if year 2 does get rolling is just go for it. Secure the license for Jacket, kill off a fan favourite, take risks, add heists that not everyone will love but you can guarantee will have an opinion on. Because the problem Payday 3 has right now is not that people hate it, it's that they don't care or even know it exists, which is a much more fatal problem to have. Let's hope Fear and Greed is good enough to turn some heads this month. And hey, maybe my range of Apex gaming PCs will do likewise. As ever, the link is at the top of the description if you still haven't seen what's on offer. Thanks for watching, guys. I've got a massive backlog of things I've been working on for September, so hopefully it'll be a fantastic month. Take care, I'll see you all very soon. A huge thank you to my dedicated Patreon backers. If you want to join this crew in going infamous, check out the link below and pledge as little as $2 to see your name in the credits, or get 24-hour early access to future videos and vote on upcoming content. Take care, I'll see you all soon.